Yeah, I mean, the inability to say no if one person has had their way the whole time could end up resulting in something that...
Yeah, no, I mean, if they can say no to me, they can say it to anybody, and they do. So
yeah, being a very flat organization where anybody has input is so important, and that's something that I tell anybody who reaches out, because you get a lot of questions on Twitter of like, hey, I want to get into game development. How can I do it? And the thing that I always tell people is, you know, find a way to get your foot in the door any way you can. Just start creating stuff. Don't wait till somebody tells you to do it. Don't wait till somebody pays you to do it. And once you get in there, then always be talking. Always give your opinion. Always like get involved, even if it's not your aspect of the game. If you're an animator, go give opinions to designers. If you're a designer, go give opinions to, you know, anybody else on the team, because that is what makes a good team a good team.
Yeah, and we don't. Well, I say no, but you know that's. Really what you want is someone throws out an idea and you don't immediately say no, you kind of think about it a little bit, and maybe you take that idea and you build on it, and then you'll see the team take it and grow with it. So it may not be you know, the idea that you threw out, but you were the one who started it. And,
yeah, I mean,
so it's you know, there's a lot of that brainstorming.
Have you ever seen examples of maybe a good idea that started out as like, oh, you know, I have an idea for this mode, and then it turns into something wholly different. But it's much better for it, obviously.
All the time. I mean, that is, I would say almost any idea that you see in the game probably started out as something different, and or it wasn't exactly what they talked about, but it grew into that. And we'll still, hey, great job on coming up with that idea. Thank you.
Maybe Robert, you can speak more to this. I'm just curious, you know. Do you think that there's been any sort of challenges of bringing Call of Duty into like the modern age? You know, this is obviously the third one, so you guys have done it, but you know, the series started off with a much sort of different pacing with the style of weapons that there are, and the multiplayer was even very different with like, you know, bolt action rifles that were doing like a ton more damage and stuff. You know, is there ever the idea of, you know, maybe toying around with, you know, a different time area? I guess we asked this question earlier. Is this the end of the Modern Warfare series after this, or is this something that there could be more Modern Warfare games in the future?
I don't know, because
remember to answer it exactly the way I said it.
You know, right now we're just finishing up this game, and we don't start thinking about what we want to do next until that's fully done, and then we're going to sit back and see what we want to do, because you know, we need to figure that out ourselves and where we're going next. I never like to say anything's an end. I never like to put a period on anything. So we'll see.
That was a good answer. You guys are good.
Well, it's the truth. I mean,
yeah, totally.
Sort of.
Twitter user Penroff4 asks, are there any new challenges with hardcore mode? Any strats for playing hardcore mode in Modern Warfare 3? Like, do you feel that it changes up the gameplay significantly?
Well, it definitely does, but I wouldn't say it changes it up in any ways that's new to how hardcore worked before. I mean, obviously, you know, you don't have the luxury of the HUD. You have increased weapon damage.
Are there specific challenges for hardcore, like you know, you know, get 10 kills in hardcore as opposed to 10 kills in, you know, standard deathmatch? Right. Oh, specifically challenges. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure if there are. I mean, I know the vast majority of people don't play hardcore. Yeah. You know, it's called hardcore for a reason. Yeah. It's for specific players like you and I, who are great at the game. I wish I was great at the game. I just like the idea of shooting. So actually, I think it's for me. It's because I'm not great at the game. I like being able to shoot someone in the toe and have them die, because that might be the only place I shoot them in my wild frenzy of gunfire. Right. You know.
Wow, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of those people that's like, you know, one shot, one kill. I'm like, you know, put on rapid fire gun and spray and pray that I managed to kill them.
Yeah, I hate the guy that I see him first, and I'm just shooting all around him, and then just looks at me, like, one shot.
I'm sorry. So if you're just joining us, I'm here with Glenn from Sledgehammer and Robert from Infinity Ward, and we're here to talk about Modern Warfare 3. We're doing a live stream coming up next. I think we're going to do some Spec Ops.
Sweet.
You know, if you're watching, you can send in your questions to us at twitter.com/IGN, and you need to use the hashtag MW3. And if you send in your questions and we like them and we think they're awesome, you could win any number of things. Copy of the game and some of the prizes you see before you. Although for the Xbox 360, you have to go to facebook.com/IGN and become a fan. And you have a chance to win.
That really came out nice. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I'm sure for you guys, you know, that's kind of a point of pride, seeing something you put, you know,
absolutely.
a couple years of your life into.
Well, not only that. I mean, we saw these designs, and we get to approve which ones we want to go on, and it's nice because that sort of quality that starts in the game is through all the products.
So, Robert, it was a question I got asked earlier. I'm just curious, do you have a favorite character in the Modern Warfare series since you've been working on it, obviously for a long time?
Favorite character overall? Ghost.
Ghost, yeah?
By far, yeah.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people were big Ghost fans. I think for me, it always bothered me that I never got to see his face. Yeah. I have a hard time connecting with the scary,
That is his face.
That's all he has, yeah.
Yep.
So, let's see.
Mine
Twitter,
was Price, by the way.
Yeah, that's my favorite too, personally, Price.
He is a staple.
Twitter user Glocky223
his mustache,
asks, exactly, he does people that have mustaches proud.
Yes.
Twitter user Glocky223 asks, does only the squad leader, or I guess he means clan leader, need elite, or does everyone in the clan need to have elite to join a clan?
That's a good question.
We need a beachhead guy here.
To be determined. To be determined, yeah. I think that,
beachhead guy would know that instantly.
But if elite's free, why wouldn't you get it?
We should create a clan.
Yes, we should.
No, we know.
I feel that I actually feel that I'm actually not good enough to be in a clan, but it's okay. So here's an easy question.
It's a support guy.
Lucas Radwitz asks, will the theater mode return?
Yes, yes. Theater mode's back. We've made a lot of improvements for it for Modern Warfare 3 that people are going to notice
right away.
Yeah.
Can you speak about any of the sort of improvements that you guys have made?
A lot of it's back-end optimization stuff.
Yeah.
How it works with the game, how it impacts frame rate, how it impacts all that stuff. A lot of back-end
won't impact
stuff.
frame rate.
Yeah, it won't. Yeah, how it lacks to impact frame rate.
So you can obviously take your films and you can save them. Can you also share them with people straight through? Is that done through Elite?
Well, you have a vault that you can put them in, so you can save like so many locally, and then you can share some and put even more online for you, so that you basically have 2 spots that you can save them, so that you can fill up what you have in game, and then push those to Elite, and then fill that back up, so you can overwrite them, so you can have even more in both spots.
Elite, you can also, Elite isn't just an in-game service as well, right? You can access it through a web page and stuff. And so what?
Or on your phone, or on tablets.
Are there any specific benefits to going on to it, versus the website versus the in-game? Are there certain things that you can do in specific ones? If I customize my class on the web page,
right?
How does that get pushed into the game?
Well, there's a push to game feature on the website, or on your phone, or on tablet. So you could be, on your way home, on the train or wherever, and have full control over your custom class, go through everything you want that you have available in game, fully customize your class, and then push that to game. That way, next time you log into your game at home, you already have it there waiting for you. So you don't have to do anything, you can instantly jump into the game. So we try to make the Beachhead team, I don't want to take credit for this, the Beachhead team did a really great job of making sure that the experience was as universal as possible across, the web and in-game, and as well as the console app that you have on the console. So even if you don't have a computer, you can just load up the console app and do everything you want right there on your Xbox or PSN.
So basically, you're just trying to give people more ways to interact with Call of Duty, even when they're away from their box, basically.
Yeah.
So we want them to do nothing but
Call of Duty.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're hanging out on the like you were saying, on the train or something like that, and you've been thinking about a way to customize it, and why not?
And you can also through your mobile phone, you can still do things like observe your stats from previous games and start thinking about strategy. Yeah. Twitter user the Soggy Canary, who I like. I like these names. These people, you really get an example of that. I have no idea. How do you come up with Soggy Canary?
Soggy Canary.
Mine's Glen Schofield.
Yeah.
Soggy Canary. In fact, I like your name so much. You're getting a Modern Warfare 3 Turtle Beach headset.
Yeah.
He asks.
So the Canary's getting a turtle.
Yeah, yes, he is. And it's also the quality of his question. I think is good. He asks, will there be any maps brought back with the original release, or possibly in DLC in the future?
DLC I can't comment to, obviously, because we haven't decided what specifically is going in DLC. But Modern Warfare 3 ships with 16 all-new maps to Modern Warfare 3.
And obviously, I mean, like you said earlier, Elite members get map packs, if they pay for Elite, paying for Elite is basically the cheaper way to get map packs, and you actually get them early as well.
Yep, you get all the map packs that we'll do, all the DLC that we'll do specifically.
I think that's the thing, is that maybe sometimes there's been a little bit of a crowd reaction about the idea of paying for Elite as being super negative. You know, like what, I have to pay for these services, and I think that there's sort of
pretty darn good deal.
People, yeah, that's the thing, is people don't realize that the vast majority of it's free, and you get the map packs. So if you're going to buy all these map packs anyways, it actually works out beneficially. Like, I dropped $60 on map packs in Black Ops, so obviously I could have benefited.
Save some bucks.
Exactly. So here we are, jumping into Spec Ops. So Spec Ops 2 players, and this is the new Spec Ops mode. Previously there were missions, and now
we have missions and Spec Ops survival mode.
Yep.
This is just last as long as you can.
Yeah, so
it is, but you know, we talked earlier that it really is a true co-op mode. I mean, if you start to branch off on your own, and you guys don't work together, in later waves, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be there to revive each other and bring each other back.
And the same...
You just put him out of his misery? You just watch him lay there and squirm?
And sort of the same design that we talked about with the multiplayer, as Robert was saying, you know, you want to find places where, you know, you can lay claymores down, and so you're blocking off a couple areas, and you and your buddy are checking out the ones that you aren't able to.
So, Spec Ops Survival Mode, you have a different level as well in Spec Ops, right?
Yep.
You're not going to sit here and earn. You can play Spec Ops and you can still level up, but you're not going to be able to play Spec Ops to basically farm experience for your multiplayer.
Yeah, no, your Spec Ops rank is completely independent from your multiplayer rank. And you get Spec Ops rank whether you're playing mission or survival. Both, you know, allow you to unlock things in both modes.
But it is a good way for, you know, a person who maybe is a little reluctant to go into the multiplayer because they think of, you know, it all hardcore. If you want to come in, you know, learn about the upgrading system and things like that, and then also understand the map. Whether you are reluctant or not, you know, if you want to kind of learn about the map, go in there, find the best places, and then go into multiplayer. Yeah. It's a great idea.
So you'll notice, so here in Spec Ops, like the waves start off fairly slow. It's meant to progressively get harder. So you'll notice what they're doing here is they picked up the weapon of the enemies, because when you first start out, you're only going to have a pistol. And you earn money to buy new weapons by killing guys. But what I like to do, and what they seem to be doing, is rely as much on the ammo and the weapons you can pick up from these enemies early on as you can. Don't waste your money getting ammo or doing that, because save up for, I like to wait till like I get about 30 grand, which is, it looks like what Mike's doing, is because then you can afford things like the ACR, some of the higher level assault rifles, and then just stick to that one weapon as much as possible. I like the ACR personally because not only is it one of my favorite weapons, but in the later waves you'll start coming across enemies that carry ACRs, so it helps you with like, instead of wasting your money on ammo all the time, you could be going around picking up their ammo off them.
So obviously this is a cooperative mode, but there's also a little bit of a competitive thing between the two players too. You're competing for kills, competing for a little bit of cash.
Right, yeah. Know. Well, you can definitely compete with each other because there are leaderboards in Spec Ops, and then there's also, you'll see how well you and your players did against each other. But
you're able to you know, give your buddy some of the money.
Yeah,
so you'll see that there's a lot more sharing going on than probably the competitive. I'll admit that at the end of a round I look to see who has more kills, but
sure, of course.
You can't get through it if you guys aren't really tough.
I mean, if you're going to just do nothing but compete with each other, you won't last very long.
Plus you can revive, if one of you dies, you can revive them. So it's like I said, it's a true co-op.
And as you progress through the levels, you know, first in Wave 0, they didn't even have the option to buy guns. Now they've unlocked the option to buy guns as well as support equipment.
Yep. So right now they have the equipment armory and the weapon armory unlocked, as indicated by the HUD elements.
Yeah, there's just some great stuff you can get. And you can even bring in a squad of Delta.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've actually never been able to.
And they're not just bullet magnets. I mean, those guys are you know, really helpful. You know, I love to get you know, a turret to lay down in some of these areas. Like we'll hang out in here. I know quite a bit.
Is there a max level that you can reach in Spec Ops Survival?
Like wave?
Yeah, like in theory.
Not that we know of.
Infinite number of waves.
Is there a internal sort of record being held currently?
What's the highest right now? 38?
So 38 is internal, but I have heard 40.
Wow.
I thought that someone said that
really?
XP went to 40 or 41.
They're a liar.
That's what I thought. But
I'm sure once they, like you said, once you get it in the hands of a bunch of people, they'll.
Once you find those super sweet spots that you can.
Mine was 23.
Yeah, mine. The highest I've ever gotten is 22.
I got to 23 solo. The day before yesterday. I found this spot on Resistance. Like I found like the best thing to do is if you're playing solo, get in a spot where one place you can visually cover and the other place requires them to do some sort of like mantling. Like on Resistance, I was up on this. Like in the back, I was up where they had to get to me. They had to climb up this dumpster, and then or they had to flank all the way around. So I could cover this point and then just listen to hear when they were climbing up the dumpster, so I could like fire, then turn and fight.
Have you gotten up to 30 yet with someone else?
I don't think so. No.
So
you get good at reviving.
Spec Ops is kind of a mode. Obviously, it's fun on its own, but it's also kind of, it seems like a good training mode for multiplayer in the sense that you jump in without playing against players, but you're still getting to experience the multiplayer maps themselves.
Yeah, the multiplayer maps, you get to experience the weapons, how customized your weapon with attachments works.
Idea of how certain perks work.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a good learning tool.
But obviously it's not meant to just be a learning tool. You know, you've taken the time to put on all these missions.
No, not at all. I mean, you see people when they start playing this thing, it is so addicting. You just want to keep going back for more. It's a ton of fun.
Are the one question I'm not sure whether you can answer or not is the missions in the previous Modern Warfare Spec Ops mode, they were just kind of unrelated, their own kind of thing. Are the missions in this one, are they tied into the campaign at all, or are they their own unique sort of thing?
That's a good question.
Well, they're not necessarily. Is that like my cue for not saying anything?
No, I think you can say.
Well, I mean, they're not necessarily tied into.
I guess
the
story, but is there a narrative to them at all?
There's not a overarching narrative to all the missions, but they've done some really cool things with the missions that like
they're themed well for the game, for the story. And the
because
levels.
there are some that are completely unrelated, but then there are also some that tie into the events of the story, but show you it in a different way or let you experience. I'm trying not to swear.
Well, anyway, so we can move on. We can move on.
There's some cool stuff that ties into the campaign.
Okay. So how do the waves in Spec Ops mode? How exactly do they get harder? Is it just that on the 10th wave as opposed to the first wave, I'm fighting the same guy, but 100 of them, or
it could be that way. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You may start off with guys that just have shotguns, and then you'll bring in guys with
or attack choppers that come in.
Right, you've got attack choppers, or you've got guys that are strapped with C4.
Yeah.
You've got dogs that are strapped with C4. We'll bring in juggernauts. I mean, it's not just more.
Yeah, so not only is sometimes the quantity increased, but that's typically the last thing we'll fall back to increase difficulty. Like the weapons they're using, their accuracy, their skill, the amount of armor they're wearing. You'll see that they'll start visually changing. How well skilled they are, which relates to AI, the tactics that they'll use, the variety of enemies that will throw at you.
Some really good combinations too. You're throwing a couple of guys and then a couple of dogs in the middle of that, and you hear the barking and.
I like mix-ups like that, like the mix of AI types that will push you into cover, and then the types of AI that will try to get you out of cover into the guys who are in the defensive position.
The Twitter user Mudrin asked a really easy question to answer, but I think it's something that a lot of people always wonder: are there bots in multiplayer at all?
No bots in multiplayer. No.
For having such an easy question to answer. He gets a copy of the game.
Well done. Well done, sir.
But is there a reason that you guys have never thought about doing bots? I mean, it just seems like, I guess it's something that maybe, is it something only a few people want? Like, I've never wanted to play with bots.
Well, to us, we took that, as you said, you take a core concept and turn it into something different. To us, we took that core concept and turned it into Spec Ops survival mode.
I was going to say, this is kind of multiplayer with bots to a degree.
But super advanced bots with, in-depth AI systems, multiple AI enemy types, playing on multiplayer maps with multiplayer features. This is, to me, far beyond anything you can do with just throwing bots in multiplayer.
And I guess if you threw in bots in multiplayer, it would kind of mess things up. You'd have to have a different like leveling system probably for something, because obviously people would just play against bots to farm experience.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You would definitely have to, put it in a walled garden experience.
And I think so much, the social aspect of Call of Duty has become such a huge deal, right? Everyone playing online. This is like the one game that more people that I know of that never played games online have started playing games online because they wanted to play Call of Duty.
You're right. I think Elite actually pushes the social aspect of it even more, especially with something like Facebook.
But a question that comes up actually about the sort of social stuff is someone was asking if so Mario 332, he asked, is party chat going to be available in all game types?
Not all game types, no. So why we have loosened, I think, some of the restrictions of party chat in game modes in comparison to how restricted we were in Modern Warfare 2, there are still some that we want to be pure.
Can you speak to that a little bit more?
I think the one offhand I think is S&D.
Okay, search and strike. Obviously, yeah, where you have one spawn and stuff. If people were sitting there on opposite teams, like or even watching camera, they could really tilt the tide by talking to each other. And I think that kind of just goes hand in hand with what you're saying. How much emphasis you guys have put on making sure that people aren't cheating in any way, shape, or form. Dark Skittle asks, can you use kill streaks? I know, right? These names.
I like Dark Skittle.
Can you use kill streaks in special ops? Are there kill streaks?
Yes, there are. So you see that plane icon is the air support package. So if you can go there, you can call in a care package that gives you perks. Right now, he has quick draw as a perk. You can also call in kill streaks. Some kill streaks are for multiplayer. Some of them are exclusive only to Spec Ops Survival mode, like the Delta Squad that you can call in.
And he can actually use his money to just purchase an airstrike straight up.
Right, yeah. So he can go there and buy a Predator missile, buy whatever. I mean, and it depends on your strategy. Like Glenn said, the first time you hear a Juggernaut coming in, the first thing you want to do is try to get over there and get a Predator missile, because if you get pinned down, that's the one thing that's going to take them out fairly instantly.
Yeah, and obviously there are still kill streak rewards, but it's not the same. It's not kill 8 guys and get a free one.
They're not earned through kill streaks.
There has to be the cost of spending your money.
Exactly.
To kind of keep you back. I mean, money. It seems like right now he's rolling in cash, 8,500.
Yeah, but that will go quickly.
I was gonna say in the later levels, when all of a sudden you're having to buy explosives and stuff, or claymores or C4, it can go.
Yeah, like self-revive in itself is like $3 or $4 grand, and self-revive to me, he doesn't have self-revive now because he got put down. So self-revive is an ability you start out with from the beginning of the entire survival thing, and it allows you that once you go down, if you kill an enemy, you get yourself back up. Something that's extremely important in the later waves. If you don't have time for your buddy to get over and revive you, it's what I spend most of my money on.
So another Twitter question from Eminem Rex,
which is a good pro tip.
He says, are eavesdrops back now that the Xbox Party is disabled in certain game types?
Eavesdrop, no. Eavesdrop is not back.
See, there's a Juggernaut coming in.
Yeah, Juggernauts, in my opinion, for me it was always about stopping him with C4. Yeah, letting him, luring him in towards you, blowing him with C4. So, I mean, obviously they can still take a few before you take them down.
What are you going for the knife? Stop hiding. Be a man.
A knife on a Juggernaut? Are you crazy?
If you finish him with a knife, then you get an achievement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a pro tip for achievement hunters. I didn't know that. I'm always scared to go up and melee them.
I just got that one last night.
Just because, I mean, they usually turn around and beat you down in like 2 hits.
Yeah, they're tough. You got to go for their head if you don't have a...
Yeah, what I'll do with the Juggernaut in this, just to get the achievement, is I'll try to get him in a spot where I can loop him and just peekaboo him and get some stabs in and then run around.
Do you guys ever find that you have to go back and change the way a weapon, obviously the way weapons function are grounded to a degree in reality, if a weapon's automatic, I'm saying if a weapon's automatic, it's automatic, that sort of thing. But do you guys ever find you have to go back and rework it, the M16 needs to not be like this in the next game, maybe the M4 didn't quite work the way we had hoped?
We have sliders and things like that.
Yeah, the things we look at balancing are okay, let's not change the core function of this weapon, but how can we adjust its reload speed? How can we adjust its rate of fire? How can we adjust
damage,
how fast you switch to it, how fast you move with it? There are other things that you can look at, like how much kick does it have, all that stuff, to balance it out in different ways rather than completely changing the way the weapon works.
At this point, it's more like minor tweaks.
I was going to say tweaks that the average player would probably never even notice, like how long it takes to put a clip in, that sort of thing.
Definitely.
Like shaving off milliseconds.
Yeah, I mean, this is stuff you're constantly playing with.
And range is a big thing. I mean, you look at how we address shotguns in Modern Warfare 2, like the Akimbo 1887s, of where we completely revamped how the range works on those later on based on player feedback.
Let's see. Another Twitter question that comes in. Well, I guess this is kind of one that's hard for you to answer, but I'm going to read it.
Never. Not possible.
His name is DeCheat638. And he says, he's asking, money-wise, I'm going to paraphrase his question into something else. He says, money-wise, why is it worth it to get the hardened edition over the standard version?
So the hardened edition comes with a year of Elite.
Yeah.
And a year of Elite in itself comes with all the DLC for Modern Warfare 3. So
Done.
So
you're effectively buying DLC vouchers, basically.
Yeah. So the sad thing for him is I'm pretty sure most of the hardened editions are sold out at this point, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was something that was an actual deal, and that's the whole reason we didn't have a Prestige edition, is because we never found something that I felt like, okay, that's a legitimate deal for our players. We're not just going to do it to do it. And the hardened edition came out in a way that it was actually a deal, and that's why we're like, okay, this should be a collector's edition. This should be limited, and I mean, you get cool stuff in it. Collector's editions are meant to be for that guy who wants a little extra, who wants to nerd out on something. And we've put some cool stuff in that we can't go into detail of what the collector item is. Like, what do we call it on the back of the box? How do we word it? The Task Force 141.
Basically, it could potentially be spoiler, I take it.
Yeah.
So the collector's item in there is that. So you get cool stuff like that, but then obviously he's speaking like, what is my value and money savings? The Elite in itself
really good.
does it.
Yeah. Well, did you a paraphrase for expediency, or because?
Well, I paraphrased because he actually said...
We have Twitter, we know what...
He actually said, money-wise, is it worth it to get the hardened edition over the standard version of Modern Warfare 3? And at first I thought he was just kind of being a little snarky, like, why should I pay for more? But money-wise, it actually is... It sounds like it is more worth it if you're going to play a ton of multiplayer and you're going to buy those map packs anyways.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Money value, it's worth it because you get a lead, and then
some of the collector
content stuff, you get
really
cool stuff.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, like you said, if he's asking now, it's kind of a little late.
Hopefully. There might be some places, depending on where he's at in the world, that still have some.
Unless he's got it, I'm just wondering if he got the right thing.
I'm sure there are many people
If you already got it, then yes, you've got a good deal.
Are you guys planning on attending any of the midnight launches for the game?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're having thousands of events around the world. And, I know a lot of guys locally here in San Francisco are going out, right?
We've sent, from both studios, we've got guys going all across the world and the country. And I myself, I'm going to Paris.
I was going to go to London, but unfortunately I have to stay local. So we have some of our lead guys going out to London. We have them all over the world. I'm going to stick to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to lurk. I should go in a ghost costume. Just lurk.
And not have anybody know that it's you. The whole time you're just a cosplayer.
Set up a barbecue. Yeah.
When you guys went to XP earlier this year, was there any good Modern Warfare cosplay?
There was some, yeah.
People were dressed up as Robert.
That's not hard. Just throw on some cargo shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, shave your head.
So another Twitter question from COD MW3XX for life.
Wow.
This guy's
he's committed.
He's committed.
He is.
He says, do you have any consequences thought up for people who decide they want to hack and ruin the game for the rest of us?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. We can't tell you.
Physical harm will go on though.
I'm from New York, so.
But more importantly, we, as we talked about earlier, we have the ability to completely control leaderboards, the ability to individually control who can rank on those leaderboards forever or temporarily. We can adjust. We can adjust their accounts. We can prevent them from playing. There's a lot of actions that we can take.
Just don't do it. XX.
There's actual risk involved in attempting this stuff.
Whenever someone asks that, you always have to wonder: are they asking it because they're scared of it, or are they asking because they're that guy that's like, how bad am I going to be punished for when I try this? So another question that comes up, which will be really easy to answer since we already kind of went over it again, but I think it's good to reemphasize. From PHLR26, they ask, would there ever be a free trial period so they can try and see if they like Elite? But the thing is that the core features of Elite are already free.
The majority of them are free.
It's just the paid is the paid features are clan support, getting that DLC.
There's exclusive content, like video content that you can do. There's a lot of stuff.
And you can imagine that the paid is something that the Beachhead team isn't done with it. Right?
Right. I mean, obviously, it's an ongoing thing for them based on the life and the success of the game, which obviously it looks like it's already going to be quite successful. So it'll probably have a pretty good life.
Sweet.
I hope so. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know.
Hey, Josh, your buddy's dying.
The features are free to start with. I mean, you can go in.
Got 5 seconds
here.
Here we go.
Dying.
What's going to happen? Oh my gosh! 1 second.
Wow. Wow, Josh.
15.
Way to go.
End of show.
What were you doing over there?
Hey, it's not bad. You know, he's playing with someone who's never played before in all likelihood. So we'll say it was the other person's
surprised.
fault.
I think we're gonna have to release the sketch
that was
done.
Just for the record, that was Josh Sellinger, worst Modern Warfare player in the world.
Yep.
Confirmed.
Wow. I think we'll have a talk with your boss. Josh, would you like to come and sit between us?
You're not welcome to.
Another Twitter question from Beavis, spelled B-I-V-A-S, not like Beavis. He says, will there be any zombie-like modes? I think, you know, zombies is kind of something that people know and like about Call of Duty, but that's kind of something that, you know, you kind of let Treyarch seem to own that.
Yeah, there's no zombie-like modes in the sense of there are no modes with zombies. There's zombie-like modes in the sense of there's infinite wave-based modes, which is what survival is.
Exactly.
But done in the Modern Warfare style.
Yeah, they shoot back instead of just coming stumbling at you.
They shoot back. There's different tactics. We brought in all the multiplayer features.
To make you a little bit happier about the fact that there isn't zombies, though, to satiate you, you're getting one of our 4 PS3 controllers that are custom made for Modern Warfare. So I hope that, you know.
You probably have 2 of them.
Got a whole box.
One was meant for me.
So Twitter user Hate Crew for Life. So he's a hater.
Yeah.
He says there was a problem with Modern Warfare 2 being leaked a few days early. He says, are you guys cracking down on that? Obviously, you know what you guys are always vigilant about leaks of games.
Yes.
We're fairly vigilant.
Yes.
I'm not going to go into detail on any leak stuff.
Just yes.
Yes, I mean, if you guys are going to punish people that you know, hack the game after it's out.
You know, I'm not so sure about punishment. Why do it? I mean, it's hurting the game for others. You know?
Exactly, and not only that, but if you get and grab the game early, it's not like you can play multiplayer with anyone yet. You know,
right?
I mean, I just don't really. I mean,
no, I don't get it. But
it's the spoiler stuff that we take offense to.
Really.
Like, don't ruin the story for other people, please. Yeah. If you happen to get the game early, don't ruin the story. Don't ruin the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always. I think it's always unfortunate when games get leaked early.
Yeah, I don't know why it happens so much in games, but
don't be a douchebag.
Yeah. Especially, it happens a lot. I notice with PC versions of games. You know, which is always unfortunate because then PC gamers wonder why they get the shaft. Sorry, that was my own personal rant.
No, I mean it's ours too. I mean it doesn't. We spend 2 years on a game. You put your heart and your soul and life into it, and then somebody and you've told the team, you've told everybody, let's keep this quiet. This is great stuff, and then you get somebody who's just not thinking that way.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think people...
Now I'm mad.
I'm just saying, sometimes I think people forget that even games that, you know, franchises that are successful with Call of Duty, they cost millions of dollars to make. It's not like you guys are just...
Well, it's, you know, I don't know if it's a money part. It's that, you know, from a creative point of view, we care. I mean, we've spent a lot of time on hiding these things and coming up with a story or a gameplay mode or mechanic, whatever. We don't. We want you to open the box and play it the way, you know,
it was intended to be done.
So early on here, you'll notice, like, the best thing you can do is go red dot hunting. Because, like, you'll see how these early waves, like, for a veteran player, or, you know, they're meant to be fairly easy. So you'll see Mike goes running towards as soon as he sees red dots.
Yeah, he's farming experience.
Yeah, because these guys are fairly easy to get, you know. They are using shotguns only. They don't have very good accuracy. So if you can get them in groups and start getting these, like, rampage and kill streaks, like you see his rampage challenge is decreasing now. His rampage is based on speed. So you want to run into this group, kill as many of them as possible, so you're getting bonus 500. So you're getting bonus 1,000.
So kill streak, what it matters is it's how many guys you can kill without basically taking any damage.
Correct. Yeah.
And obviously that becomes much harder along the way as guys, even the standard guys, start wearing body armor. One shotgun blast isn't going to take them out.
But the challenges will change in later waves as well. It's not always just kill streak and rampage. You'll be introduced to other challenges, and the denomination that you get for them changes as well.
Are the challenges dynamic, based, like, you know, they change on the fly just based on what's going on?
Yeah, every wave they change.
So right now they have time, you know, in between every round you get time to re-equip, set up your defenses.
Or you can
Me personally, I love to lay down claymores.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
With a partner, you can lay down like 20 claymores if you do it right. You can just create horrible killing fields.
Yeah. Later on, you'll actually come across enemies who'll start laying claymores as well. So
I did not realize that.
Yeah, it's in the much later waves and the harder ones, because Spec Ops Survival is broken just like mission mode is in varying degrees of difficulty. So the pacing on each map is different. So some waves start off, you know, much harder. Nice.
Yeah, I so far, you know, that's the thing about Spec Ops that I really like is just that it's just so it gets so crazy later on. I mean, and it really requires a certain level of team play that I think is good for people to learn if they're going to take Modern Warfare Online. You know, otherwise, if you just get used to lone wolfing it the whole time, you realize that there is value in fighting alongside someone that's a partner. And actually, you know, going back to earlier multiplayer, that's actually something I liked about the new mode Kill Confirm too, is that it encourages people to actually move as like a crew.
Sort of work together a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like other modes don't always make people do that as much, but Kill Confirm is like such a total
it's
dynamic
not a
change.
Wolf one.
Yeah, if you're riding alone in Kill Confirmed, you're jeopardizing your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're just joining us again, Glenn's here from Sledgehammer, Robert's here from Infinity Ward, and you can ask us your questions about Modern Warfare 3. You can find us on twitter.com/IGN, where you can send in your questions with the hashtag MW3. You can also, you should also follow us on Twitter if you don't already. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/IGN, or if you become a fan of us and you like us, you can enter a chance to win this Call of Duty limited edition special console. You can also follow us on Twitter at facebook.com/playing Call of Duty, which is actually going to be our Call of Duty focused IGN. And then you can also follow us again at twitter.com/Call of Duty IGN, where we'll be sending out all kinds of Call of Duty specific news, Call of Duty specific updates, when map packs are out, when we're doing cool features about it.
They could also follow us, but I'm sure that everyone is already following Robert.
You should plug your own Twitters. Let's do it.
Yeah.
At fourzerotwo.
At
Glen Schofield.
Yeah, I have to say, the name 402, it has a certain amount of infamy with it. When I was playing against you in some multiplayer, every time I got killed by you, I was like, or if I ever got a kill on you, I was like, I can't believe I just killed Robert Poling. So, you are rather good at the game.
I feel like killing Robert Poling.
Don't worry, you're not alone.
So the Twitter user Peter is Frozen asks, yeah, right? I don't think these
Which
things
Peter?
Yeah, let's not go there.
He asks, is there a type of ballistic knife in Modern Warfare 3?
No, we have a throwing knife.
Yeah, which requires a lot more skill. So I want to get the challenges for the throwing knife,
right?
But I feel like I'm never going to. It is so hard to kill someone with a throwing knife.
Don't go there.
You know, it's just so hard.
Be confident.
So these helicopters, like, this is all about peekabooing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they'll do what's called talking guns, where one will fire and then stop and the other one will fire. So it's all about staying in cover and just popping out when you can.
And right now in these early waves, you're fighting a helicopter on its own. But eventually...
Yeah, they'll send out infantry with the helicopters. Yeah. There's actually an achievement if you take out both these helicopters without either of you taking any damage, you can get an achievement.
So multiplayer achievements are... The achievements pretty evenly split between single and multiplayer, or is there more of a...
We don't do multiplayer achievements.
Yeah, Spec Ops, sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're evenly split. I don't know if they're evenly split. No, they're not evenly split. But there's a good amount of Spec Ops focused achievements.
Do you feel that Spec Ops is viable to be played by yourself?
Definitely, yeah.
It's fun.
It's a very different experience. Yeah. It's challenging and it's in a different way because especially the later waves, you really want that teammate backing you up because it's very frantic when you're alone trying to cover every angle. So it's a different kind of challenge, but it's a lot of fun.
You can play the mission modes by yourself.
Oh yeah, so I guess maybe would those be particularly challenging by yourself?
Yeah, they're different, right? It's a completely different animal in some cases.
So another Twitter question from Pro Chaos.
I love Pro Chaos.
He says, do you get to keep the maps if your Elite subscription ends? Like the map packs that you would get through Elite?
It's a good beachhead technicality.
We'll find out. We'll get back to you.
But I think there's good news associated with it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to speak for them.
Well, yeah. I'm not so sure either. But who knows?
The correct answer on our part would be no, but I doubt it. Well, we don't have the answer.
So again, if you're just joining us, we're watching Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops mode here in the new survival mode, where two people basically go and try and survive for as long as they can against every enemy wave that are increasingly difficult.
They were doing really well in the last one, except for
until Josh messed it up.
Josh Schellinger.
Yeah, do you guys find that there's like a good place in every level that kind of feels like the place to hole up, maybe?
I think it depends on your the person that you're playing with, and I know that we have a couple of us when I hook up with different people, we have a place that we'll go, definitely, and just kind of used to that and go there.
Yeah, I find that there's usually a couple places that are good to kind of hole up in, but usually they're kind of far away from
the armories.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was their armories and stuff. They're placed in very specific spots for a reason, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes you really have to go out of your way to get them, and that 20 seconds isn't always enough time to get back to the.
Yeah.
I always feel like though we'll try and set up a place close enough, and try and you can always get just about close enough.
Yeah. But see, this one, like, they're defending here. Right now, they're doing a fairly good job of it, but like it's such an open area with not a lot of cover points, and they could literally come from 3 angles in this one. Yeah, your back's covered, but you know,
guys could also come up out of the subway just to the right.
Your right,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, they have Claymore covering it, so you have to think about, you know.
And in designing these, you know, these points would always be being moved slightly. I mean, they're always kind of adjusted where they would be, where the right place to be.
Yeah,
and a lot of iteration.
Later waves, I'd like to get extreme conditioning perk from the air support armory, because that's really good for what you said. When the later waves, when 20 seconds isn't enough to go get ammo, like extreme conditioning helps you get there faster.
Another Twitter question from another fantastic Twitter name. So fantastic, in fact, he's winning a Turtle Beach headset.
Wow, just for the name.
Just for well, the question's also good. I mean, but his name is Rasta Primavera instead of Pasta Primavera.
Wow, that is
so yeah, that's good. He says
we should have an overall at the end of this who's got the best name.
He asks, will players be able to prestige in Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops?
In Spec Ops? No.
I'd be amazed to see someone reach even the highest level. I've played quite a bit of Spec Ops, and
you're still not max rank?
No.
Yeah, it takes some time. No, yeah, Prestige is focused on multiplayer.
So in one of the things that I think is important to know in Spec Ops is if a teammate dies, if one teammate dies, both players lose, correct?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, so
if one player dies, yeah. Now
it's all survival.
We saw it happen here with Josh Schellinger earlier. But yeah, you want to get in there and save the other guy.
Yeah, that's why it's so essential that you don't let a buddy bleed out, as Josh would do. Because if he bleeds out, it's game over for everyone. You can't just be selfish and lone wolf it like some people love to live their life, not thinking of others, just playing for themselves. Josh was selling.
Josh.
Another Twitter question from Dat Nasita Kid. He says, are there maps that are only for Spec Ops? The answer is no, right? It's just that they're
for mission mode.
Missions
they all are.
But in Spec Ops Survival, no, it's you're playing on all the multiplayer maps, the 16 multiplayer maps.
You know, I know that you guys can't speak too much about DLC, but is Spec Ops something that people can expect to see expanded on in DLC as well, possibly?
We have the option.
Okay, the option is there.
We have the ability.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Well, it's a politician, yes or no?
I mean, obviously, since Spec Ops Survival specifically is on all the multiplayer maps, it's a very, you're getting more bang for your buck when we do map packs. But, we have the option to update any portion of the game that we want.
Do the waves in Spec Ops, do they always come in like predetermined things? Like wave 4 will always be the helicopter wave. So, like if you played a lot, you can start to learn, anticipate, and kind of plan for it.
Per map, but the difference is they're not always going to show up in the same place. Right. It'll change based on where you are.
Yeah. Their spawns are dynamic, and the wave progression isn't the same per map. So the map, how the waves come on Underground, the map they're playing on now, is different than how they come in Dome, and how they come on the hard version of Dome, and so on and so forth.
So we just saw them fighting a Juggernaut. in multiplayer, you get the chance to use Juggernaut armor, obviously, to do as a assault package, or as far as a strike package, actually.
There's an assault Juggernaut in the assault strike package, and there's a recon Juggernaut in the support package, which are two very different Juggernauts.
Yeah, the assault Juggernaut, he actually gets to wield a machine gun.
The assault, has an LMG, and he has built-in scavenger.
Oh, okay.
Where the recon Juggernaut is a riot shield, and he has built-in portable radar. So he has a radar blast coming out from it.
You know, it's interesting that the riot shield's is in multiplayer too, because man, I've noticed that can really change up the dynamic of what's going on in any particular battle too. Even if you don't have Juggernaut armor, if you have a riot shield, all of a sudden something like Kill Confirmed, you can be the guy that gets out there and sits there and gets a tag, even though he's not killing anyone.
That's a pro tip, right? You want to get the riot shield for if you're the guy getting attacked.
So
that's something I learned from
you. Luke, aka Jolt, on Twitter asks, what is your favorite game type?
Favorite game type?
Yeah, if you guys had one in particular you like. I mean, for me, having played some, I think Kill Confirmed is.
Yeah, I think for me it's been Kill Confirmed.
Kill Confirmed is my new favorite. I mean, obviously, hardcore S&D will always be my bread and butter. I'm just a hardcore S&D player, and then standard non-hardcore is domination for me.
But you can hear it on the team too when we're all playing at night and. Kill Confirm comes up, everybody gets kind of excited about it.
Yeah, Kill Confirm is awesome.
So, how do you guys determine when you're doing you're joining like a team deathmatch? How does it determine which maps come up in the the rotation that people get to vote on? Is that just like based on what's come previously, or is it based on maybe people voted down the map over and over again, so you maybe wouldn't include it higher in the rotation?
Right. There is an algorithm to it.
Math. There's math that goes on.
There's math involved in deciding what maps based on what you've already played as a group and a lot of different factors. And then obviously you have a choice of voting on what map and game mode you want to see next.
It all comes down to math.
Now we're seeing some of the more heavily armored guys coming up. Quick burst isn't enough to kill them. Maybe the MP5 is going to not cut it so much.
So these guys have AK, so it's a perfect opportunity to upgrade your weapon for free.
I mean, it seems like kind of the way to survive in this in the long run is to upgrade for free whenever possible.
Especially because you're not going to have every weapon available unlocked, but if you pick it up from them, you can always buy ammo from it, even if you don't have it available to buy. Like later on, you'll come up with enemies that have the FAD, and the FAD's a great weapon, like down there. But you don't unlock it until level 32.
Level 32 specifically, your level, not the wave.
Not wave.
Yeah. So like if you can get to the wave where they start using the FAD and you can pick that up, you're going to have a huge advantage as a lower ranked player.
So another Twitter question from NKBV. He asks, what are the editing features in the theater mode?
What are they?
Can we, I guess he's asking like what sort of camera angles and stuff can they do? Like, what sort of things can they do if they want to make like a, badass video themselves that they want everyone to see on YouTube?
Right, the editing feature and all that are very similar to what you've had in the previous games.
Right, where you can switch between players, you can follow specific players, you can zoom out in a third person.
Exactly.
You can speed up, you can slow down, you can rewind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty robust. Do you know how many replays you can have saved at a time, or is it like it records like your most recent few matches at any given time?
Oh, it's the exact numbers. I think it's.
Did we change them from Black Ops?
We may have. I think from in game in your vault you can have. I want to say 10.
Okay.
Yeah, in game you can have 10, and then you can also put 10 online in Elite, which can be different. So for a max, but you're going to want to upload the 10 you want to keep to Elite, because after 10 it starts overwriting in game to your whatever your most recent is.
Josh, can you help us out here?
Nope.
No.
Pretty confirmed. I think so.
I just wanted to see if he
He's not paying attention. He's not even playing well at the game. You expect him to play well and talk to us?
You got to stick that claymore right in his back.
So obviously, the waves aren't just people; they're dogs as well. And the dogs start off just being like, you know, if they can get close to you to hurt you, but you also said that eventually you see dogs that are wearing explosives.
Yeah. Kamikaze dogs.
They're mortars.
So right now, I mean, how crazy do the later waves get? Is it eventually like tons of enemies, like swarms?
They get fairly insane. I mean,
I found it at 23. It was insane. It was just
when you get to the point that you have multiple juggernauts who are trying to flank you from different flanks, and you have infantry you're trying to deal with, and the enemy have already laid claymore defensive around, and you have to keep all this in mind because, like, what you do in the later waves is you're listening because the announcer will say what's coming in typically. He'll say, all right, we got intel that there's enemies with C4 strapped to their chest, or we have dogs on the way, or we have heavily armored units. So in the later waves, because you're so frantic and constantly fighting, you're trying to listen to that and make a mental checklist of, okay, what do I need to be prepared for? Did I hear him say that enemies are laying explosives? Should I be watching my corners, as well as trying to run away from a juggernaut?
Spec Ops also has varying difficulties as well, right? Like, you can play it on normal if you want to be a hardcore person and try it on, you know, really high damage, you can do that as well.
Yeah, you don't set your difficulty like you do single player, but the survival maps are broken up into different sections of difficulty.
And
obviously each has their own, every map has its own leaderboard as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Getting back to what Rob was talking about a little while ago, I've also found that as I go deeper into the waves, that my strategies or my techniques will change. Meaning, I'm very aggressive in the beginning, kind of wading out into the guys, and or as partners wading out. After that, there are just too many, and they're too good, and you find that you're sometimes in quite a defensive mode.
So right now, they have two juggernauts coming at them, and they're coming from two different angles.
And they're assault juggernauts.
Yeah. So what I think they're trying to do is lead the two juggernauts to get on the same path. That way, he can use his one predator missile to take them out.
I think that's giving Josh too much credit.
I can hear Mike leading the show.
Yeah, okay.
Even still, that still seems like it's really quite hard to do.
See, he's using Josh's bait, which is I approve of as a tactic. Here they come, here they come, here they come.
Nice job.
There they are. Do it. Fuck them up.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep.
Man, I didn't even realize that.
Good.
So that really does make the money way worth it. Predator missile's expensive, but
so you spent $3,000 to take out two juggernauts, which probably meant you didn't waste all your ammo. So now you don't have to spend the $750 to redo your ammo. You're a genius, Mike. You're gonna be so hot right now.
So Twitter user lol, it's you again.
Whoa.
He asks, have you guys ever considered a map creator or editor? You know, for the game, I mean, people obviously mod the PC version,
right?
But as far as console versions go, there's never been the ability to necessarily, you know, change and create your map on its own.
Yeah, it's not something we've ever looked at for like the console versions, just because it's just something we don't have, you know, the bandwidth for from a development time and schedule that the majority of our users would get out of, you know, because we want to focus on gameplay features that everybody can benefit from, and that's just something that has never made the list yet.
That being said, private matches now being able to change up the recipe of what's going in, which guns spawn, I mean, which guns that people can use, which guns they can't.
Yeah.
You know, that obviously goes into a degree of that.
Yeah, and then that's gameplay focused, you know? You can't create your own maps, but you can go in and fully customize the gameplay experience, customize the rule sets of any mode you want, create your own modes. You have the flexibility to do that.
Going through some upgrades. Remember, guys, if you want, you can send in your questions to us at twitter.com/IGN with the hashtag MW3. You can also enter to win a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 limited edition Xbox 360 with a copy of the game if you go to facebook.com/IGN and become a fan and like us. You can also, for future Call of Duty updates and news, follow us on facebook.com/playing Call of Duty, and you can follow us on twitter.com/Call of Duty IGN. We're also still giving away more copies of the game, some Gunner Optics glasses, Turtle Beach headsets, custom PS3 controllers, or at least, you know, Modern Warfare themed PS3 controllers. So there's a lot still to be won, and more multiplayer to see down the line. We're in Wave 17 of Spec Ops Survival Mode. A couple of the guys from Activision playing, and currently doing all right. They're doing all right. This is 17 is where it starts to get really difficult.
They're doing decent.
Mm-hmm. They're doing decent, huh?
I'm waiting for the dead weight of Josh to pull Mike down, but they're doing all right so far.
Yeah, I find that this is when you start fighting the guys that are starting to wear quite a bit of body armor. Yeah. One grenade won't necessarily even take them out. It might just,
one knife doesn't take them out.
Yeah. It seems like though if you're using the knife in Spec Ops, it's not that great. It seems like it
helps in the first few.
Yeah, the early waves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems, once you're using the knife, it seems like you've gotten pretty desperate if they're getting that close.
Definitely. You do not want them up close in survival.
Can you? I have a question. Just in case, I'm just curious if you know. Can you be killed by your own box? Can you be downed by it if it falls on you?
You can be killed by it. Yeah, a care package does damage.
Yeah, that is the most insulting thing ever. When I've killed a dude that called in a care package, ran up, and had it drop on my head and still kill me.
Pretty embarrassing.
So, wow, what just happened? So did someone call in a? Was that a gunship that they called in?
That's so he's marking that purple smoke is marking where the AC-130 should fire. So see, they have an AC-130 in the air, and then he throws that down, and it will fire.
Help clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
It takes some skill to get that sucker there too.
Are any of the weapons that you guys have included in the game, are they any of them like not actually currently in use, but more like cutting edge, like this is what people are about to end up using? Like for instance, I noticed you have like an AA-12 in here. That's like that's a very relatively new weapon.
The XM25.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot, which is being used. Maybe.
There's some sniper rifles that we have in multiplayer that are not yet in consumer hands that we had the weapon manufacturer bring to us.
I was gonna say, so do you guys actually get to see these guns in person, hear them fire, do all the really, the fun things in life, like
or fire them?
Yeah. We try to.
Is the dual scope being widely used?
No, I think only
because we heard that from Delta. Right?
Yeah, Delta operators.
Yeah, I think the dual scope's actually a really cool feature. If you're not aware of what that is, it's basically an ACOG scope that you can like flick off the back half of it, and then it becomes like a red dot.
Yeah, it's a holographic. Holographic
to an
ACOG. Magnifying. Yeah.
I mean, even something like the, the flashbang. We've got the 9-bang in there. And that was from Delta going, we don't use the flashbang, we use the 9-bang thing.
Nice. It's a nice
I have to say that, I may write about video games for a living, but I definitely envy the stories where when you guys get to say, we went to France to do research to make sure we made, these things look right, or we got to shoot these really cool guns. Yeah. I'm sure those are the days where the job is totally,
it's a great, it's a great way to make a living. I mean, you're creative all the time. You're following your passion. I mean, it's hard work, but I wouldn't give it up for anything.
But you get to blow shit up sometimes.
So
get to blow shit up.
Twitter user D_Thomas 32920, probably his zip code. He writes and he says, "How will server selection work?" He says, "I heard it would change hosts after every match."
No, it doesn't change hosts. It wouldn't randomly change hosts. What the game does is it will always be looking for the best host. So if it determines that there is now a better host to improve game quality, then obviously it's going to switch to that host. In between matches, it wouldn't dynamically do that during the middle of the game, unless the original host left, of course, and then it'll try to find the best
host. On the PC version, is it also using hosts like peer-to-peer, or is it?
You have an option for both. So you can match make into public lobbies on the PC, or you can use the server browser to find a dedicated server that you want to join. And obviously, dedicated server is not peer-to-peer.
Would you guys have 3 on that one?
Yeah, 3. This is nice. Wow, nice job. So they're now like 2 waves from the farthest I've ever been. So another Twitter question. From Trevor93, he says, has the Call of Duty engine made any improvements, like new graphical effects or optimization?
Oh yeah, if you look at the game right now, if you A/B'd it with 2, which was a beautiful game, you would see that the graphical fidelity is, we have so much more detail in it. We're able to build levels that we talked about before that not only have a slightly bigger footprint, this way, but now we go vertical. So we've got bigger levels. We've got more animation in there. We've upgraded the audio system. We've made better tools, and some of that's behind the scenes. But what that does is allows us to iterate quicker and quicker and quicker. And we're fitting a lot more in each and every level right now. We've got more characters in a level than we had before, more textures in a level, more polys. I mean, it's funny people talk about the engine being 10 years old, and that's sort of the very basic.
Right. I mean, a core framework might be one thing, but it can be modified into something wholly different, really.
Oh, we're constantly doing that. We're reworking the AI system.
There we go. The fad.
Well, Trevor 93, to better see those enhanced graphics and everything they've changed, you are getting a pair of gaming glasses from Gunner Optics, Modern Warfare 3 branded.
Way to go, Trevor.
Yeah.
What was that, Trevor 20?
Trevor 93. So
93.
I have a feeling he's quite young. It's probably the year he was born. Makes me feel like an old man, and I'm pretty young. So.
Unless he's 93.
Oh, that's true. He could be probably the oldest Call of Duty player.
Right.
Do you guys ever get any sort of information about that, like demographics that play? I'm just curious. Like,
we get some demographics, but I think that's still. What we get is sort of anecdotal stuff. I mean,
sure.
people come up to me all the time and will say, this is the one game I play with my dad, or my uncle plays, and I don't know what the demographic is, but it's huge. When you get to this many people, it obviously
it's extremely wide. The demographics for Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one game every year that even my dad asks me, "Hey son, I saw a commercial for this new Call of Duty game." He knows Call of Duty names very well.
See, now he's using the fad, the weapon I was talking about earlier, that these super heavy armored guys come in with. And the one thing you want to do once you get an enemy weapon is try to be near the weapon armory so you can buy ammo for it, because they never have a lot.
Could this be the Josh moment?
It happens. So I've just 22. As high as I ever get, not bad. I think now here in a couple of minutes we're going to switch back up to some multiplayer to close out the live stream. By close out, I still mean you have an hour and a half to send in your questions to twitter.com/IGN, hashtag Modern Warfare 3.
I'm getting bed sores.
Hashtag.
We have Glenn here from Sledgehammer and Robert from Infinity Ward to answer your questions, or until they die from using their voice so much.
You can die from that?
Yeah,
Wow.
You can. It's a very little known thing.
Oh my god.
So you can also.
It's never going to happen to Robert.
You can also enter to win this really cool limited edition Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Xbox Slim with a copy of the game if you go to facebook.com/IGN, become a fan. You can also follow these guys on Twitter. You're at fourzerotwo.
At fourzerotwo.
And you?
At Glen Schofield.
At Glen Schofield.
I got to come up with something.
Well, there's nothing wrong with using your actual name.
No, but it's nothing like Soggy Butt or whatever.
Soggy Canary, that's what it was.
Soggy Canary and Sketchy Cinema.
Yeah, Sketchy Cinema HD. HD.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, now you're crossing the line. There's some things left unseen.
So another question that was asked, but I actually don't know the Twitter username. He was asking, why was the choice made to allow only two player people to play Spec Ops Survival instead of, say, 4 people?
That's the experience we were looking for. We found that 2 players really forced you to rely on that buddy. You couldn't just go off and do your own thing. It made it a lot more challenging, and that's what we were looking at for Spec Ops Survival, is it to be that 2-man team that had to rely on each other. And then at the end of it, it made it where everybody on the team, the 2 guys, were essential to completing the mission. There wasn't like 2 guys who were running the show and then this one guy who was all right and this one guy who was just tagging along, not really doing a lot. It was meant to be very challenging for that 2-man team.
Yeah, we really wanted to make the, true co-op game. And, you'll hear about other, games that say they're co-op, and we didn't want to have it feel like it's just 2 guys playing together. We wanted them to, to force that teamwork.
Along the same lines with co-op and stuff, have you guys ever kind of toyed around or considered the idea of taking the game and actually making like a 2-player campaign, like throughout the whole start to finish?
We didn't talk about it on this particular game because it would, in my opinion, you either design it for 2-player or you design it as 1-player. Or maybe the experience is going to change in either one. So at this point, we felt like we do have something for everybody in the game with the single-player campaign, the 2-player co-op, and then the multiplayer. So there hadn't been talk about trying to make campaign 2.
And Modern Warfare 3 still supports a split screen for online multiplayer as well, right?
Yeah, so you can do online split screen for Modern Warfare 2. But like you said, yeah, that single player is meant to be that single player experience, a very cinematic experience.
Yeah, I guess if you design a game for 2 people, you wouldn't necessarily be able to direct people's attentions and frame specific shots
totally different
certain
experience.
Ways.
Yeah. So we took the moments that we wanted to do in co-op that worked really well and were designed specifically for co-op, and that's why we created the Spec Ops mode in general.
Another Twitter question that comes in. So Brandon Coastal says, he says, I noticed that you talked to real Delta operators. Did you get any official technical advice from the military? I think you and I talked about this a little bit before we started, but...
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, I'll give them one example that we said before, which is, if that's what they mean by technical, but we have to take out the sub in the harbor level, and we were talking about how do you take out a sub, and within the team, we thought, well, we want it to submerge. We'll just put it near the propeller. When we talked to this was the SEALs guys at the time, they laughed and said nobody gets near the propeller. What you want to do if you want it to breach, what you have to do is you have to put it on the tail fin, and so that's exactly what we did. And we'll try and come up with this. We want to be as close as possible wherever we can, so we'll talk to them about this. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Modern Warfare series in particular has always kind of tried to balance between being realistic whenever possible, but also never letting that get in the way of being fun, right? You're not trying,
absolutely
not trying to be a simulator.
Yeah, I mean, and these are like that particular one was actually worked out better for gameplay than getting sucked into the propeller.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah, awesome. Constantly. Well, it's like if you watch a any kind of movie or television series or something, and let's say they're portraying something that you know a lot about, a game maker, and they do it wrong. You always feel like, why don't you just do your research and get
not only that, but I know from personal experience with my dad in the military that there are a lot of military people that play Call of Duty.
Oh, absolutely.
And love it. Yeah. So I'm sure, to them, they're like, what? That's not how that gun operates. Or, or I've heard anecdotal stories, too, about, like levels where someone jumps into a Jeep and, like, turns it and starts it with a key, or a Humvee starts it with a key, and it's like, what? We don't use keys. Like, no one on the battlefield looks for keys while they're getting shot at. So here's... Actually, he's doing some of the loadout stuff. These are actually some of the new tactical things that, if you want to play the tactical strike package, that you can do really interesting.
The trophy system I love. Like, trophy system is, I think, one of the essential things, because we were playing, recently, and we were playing domination, and like what you'll notice is like when people first start off, they stick to the stuff they know. They're putting like Predator missiles in their strike packages. They're putting the equipment that they know in their strike packages. And like experiment with the new stuff, because trophy system is like a huge tool when you're playing domination. It's great anytime you have to plant a bomb or do anything, even sabotage.
The first thing people are going to do is throwing grenades.
Exactly. As soon as you get on that dom point, as soon as somebody knows you're planning, they're going to be trying to throw in M203 rounds. They're going to be trying to throw in grenades. And this is a great deterrent to noob tubes, because not only do we rebalance noob tubes so they're less effective, like the damage grenade launchers do is so much less than what it was previous, but this is great because it will take out explosions in the air. Frag grenades, M203 rounds, whatever, which is going to give you that few extra seconds you need to finish the plant, to capture the dom point and get out of there alive.
I'm also a huge fan of the new perk, the one that's called Blast Shield. That basically effectively does like what you're wearing a flak jacket and some of the previous ones did. I mean, just being able to basically take an explosion can get you such a cool tactical advantage over people where they throw a grenade, they see the thing, they think like they rush in right behind it thinking you're going to be dead, and then you're not. Like, so Specialist is also another strike package that I think is really cool. It's one of those ones that you look at it and you think maybe it's not quite as rewarding immediately, but being able to basically stack on additional perks that you get as you get kill streaks, like all of a sudden you can be a guy running around with 6 perks. It can make such a crazy difference.
And there's so much strategy that you can put into, you know, how you plan out your specialist strike package, so that you're not wasting your custom class on perks that you're not always getting a benefit from, you know. So you can, you know, in your custom class, have the 3 perks that you always want to be getting benefit from. Like he's using Blind Eye Pro, Hardline Pro, and Marksman Pro, and then use the strike package specialist to get the other perks that you might need later on, because Scavenger, you don't need at the beginning of the round when you already have a full magazine, but you're going to need it after you've killed a few guys, you've gotten to the flag, and now you're running out of ammo and you need to get back to your base. Scavenger is a good thing to have activate then.
You know, speaking about perks and strike packages and all that, you know, I know some of the things that people have complained about in past Call of Duties as far as, you know, like one team starts to get on a victory, and then all of a sudden they're calling in attack choppers and everything else, and they're getting on a line side victory. How do you guys balance out making sure players feel rewarded for kill streaks, but, you know, also making sure that you're not just making it to where, you know, the good team starts to win and nobody has a chance of coming back? You know?
Yeah, well, that's when you look at, you know, you balance out, you know, what the kill streaks are, like what the air support is, how you can damage them, and then making sure that you're giving the other players, and that's why we have things like the support package, and that's why the support package doesn't reset upon death, because it's so the guy who isn't good at getting a lot of kills, who's probably dying a lot, giving that kill death ratio, or who's
getting killed by a helicopter over and over again.
Exactly, you're giving him the tools to unlock very early on a SAM site, so he can fight against that air support, he can take it out, so that he can start contributing to the game in a way that he's good at.
Twitter user 3D Gaming X asks, he wants to know, is this a good game for new users to the Call of Duty world?
Definitely. I think it is probably the best game for new users because it has things like Spec Ops Survival Mode that allow you, if you've never played multiplayer in Call of Duty before, it allows you to be exposed to all the staples of, like, you know, because Spec Ops not only lets you learn the maps, let you learn the weapons, but it also introduces you to very basic things that all of us know of, like, oh, I need to pay attention to the mini-map. Red dots are an important thing to, you know, look out for. Those very core mechanics that, you know, if you're brand new to the franchise, you just don't know, you just don't get.
Well, and I don't know how much you can speak to it, but Spec Ops is that's its goal, right? I mean, if you play single player, and the thing that you will be encouraged to play is Spec Ops, right? Like, isn't that how it works?
It's a good, if you are new to it, it is a great bridge to multiplayer, but in and of itself, I mean, you know, somebody could just buy the game and play Spec Ops with, you know, think about 32 maps in total with 16 on mission and 16 in survival mode. It's a game in itself. But he's also talking about just getting into the game for the first time. You know, Modern Warfare is one of those games that you can pick up and play, and you know, it's got, we lead you into the game. You know, we're not going to just kind of drop you off. It's very, very intuitive controls and smooth. And I think that anybody for the first time are going to pick it up and play. They'll understand the controls, and the story is going to be something that they'll be able to follow along with.
Yeah, well, since, you know, you sound like you may be new or you may know someone new, 3D Gaming X, you're getting a copy of Modern Warfare 3. For your platform of choice. So hopefully if you are new, you can play, or if you know someone that's new, hook them up so that we can get more people playing.
That's nice. So it wasn't just based on a name.
It wasn't that time, yeah. I do try and pick them quality of the content they're on.
Left, behind you.
So once again, we're watching multiplayer here. I think we're just watching Team Deathmatch right now.
Yeah.
Not that should be just Team Deathmatch.
No.
But it's not one of the new maps. So it's probably the single most popular mode. Right now we have 2 machine pistols running akimbo. Didn't work out so well.
And that was super effective for you, Mike. Well done.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have added actually quite a few more machine pistols in this one. On top of pistols, now there are several machine pistols.
Yeah, they're not great for, you know, going head to head with an assault guy, like a primary assault guy, but I mean, they're great for speed. Like if you're playing capture the flag and you're just trying to get in there quick, unnoticed, you know, get that flag and just engage people who are up close and just in your way, then they're great for that. Right now he has a dual scope attachment on, so he has the 2 sights.
If you guys have any multiplayer specific questions, remember you can send them to us at twitter.com/IGN with the hashtag ModernWarfare3, which you see on the bottom of the screen right now. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/IGN, where you can enter to win our Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 limited edition 360. So yeah, so here we are. watching way more multiplayer. He's not doing so hot. But I noticed that with machine pistols, it seems like there's a trade-off. They may shoot automatic, but they have almost all of them seem to have a little bit of setup time when you pull them out. They're not quite as fast as slinging out a pistol.
No. Yeah, they have setup time. Their accuracy is pretty shit. Kind of like Mike's playing right now. No, you know what? I'm not interested in excuses. I'm more interested in good gameplay. So you can do it, play.
I don't blame him.
I thought it was Josh
right
for a while.
Right now, he's facing off against some of the better Call of Duty players, not only in the office, but also, you guys have your community manager from Sledgehammer there, who's tearing it up, I'm sure, as well. I mean, that's the thing is
we've had to dial him down a bit. We tied back one of his hands.
This is an all-new game, but I mean, people that were good at Modern Warfare 2 are going to be jumping in and be able to use that same skill set to quite a large degree.
Yeah, but the big thing is, like, now you're going up against different styles of play that we never had before.
Because of this different strike packages.
Exactly.
Adapting, yeah.
And I think that's where you see, like you said, a lot of adapting going on.
Well, it's good. I mean, no one, it's like you said, I think there's a lot of people that start to wonder, like, this is the third Modern Warfare, why do I, what makes this different from Modern Warfare 2? What makes this different from Modern Warfare 1?
Yeah.
And so it's things like strike packages and stuff, which maybe to someone who only casually knows the franchise may seem like not that big of a deal, but when you tell someone that plays a lot of Call of Duty that, they're like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, the weapon proficiencies, and just, you got to think of just adding a whole new survival mode.
Out of there.
I mean, there's a lot of new stuff in this.
Oh man. Airstrikes still coming in from the very first game. Still way too effective. I also know that you guys have changed sort of the damage graphic too. I mean, the way that I'm saying the way the damage is displayed is you take damage on the HUD.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like it's been dialed back a little bit to be a little less visually.
Less jellyfish.
Yeah.
It looked like there were times when if you were getting hammered, you didn't know what you were looking at.
Yeah, we're always looking at stuff like that whenever we're designing of how we can tweak it. There you go, nice.
We go through every inch of the game, from every HUD to every menu, every character, everything, and try and give it a fresh coat of paint.
Oh, nice.
Sense.
So I don't know if Robert, maybe you can speak more to this, or I'm sure you know too, Glenn, from working on it. Was the story of Modern Warfare 3, was that written all at once? Like they knew start to finish when the first game was conceived that it would turn into this 3-part thing?
No, not at all.
No.
Okay.
That I do know, yeah.
Yeah,
because we sat down and we wrote this story together.
So then, kind of in line with that, the Twitter user Rocker31067 asks, have you guys developed any ideas that would be good for a future COD game while making Modern Warfare 3? Like, does that ever come to play? Like, all of a sudden you start playing this and thinking, like, well, wow, if we're taking it here, maybe it could go into, this direction or this direction.
But I don't know about story-wise, but mechanics and features.
Yeah, I think, from every aspect, each individual designer, as they're making out, building out their levels and stuff, they're making little mental notes like that of stuff they'd like to see or being inspired by stuff. And then, that's the kind of stuff that when we finish the game, we sit down at the end of the day, once the game's launched, and we pull all those little mental notes together, and we're like, okay, where are we at? What ideas do you have? What direction would you like to see us go in? And then that's what starts the next conversation.
Yeah, we do a post-mortem when the game's done, and in that goes a lot of the learnings, as well as a lot of the ideas.
Mike, you're embarrassing me.
Yeah, he was. I feel he was against a particularly well-made opposing team there. So here we are watching more multiplayer in our Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 live stream. So the prizes you can win by sending in your Twitter questions to twitter.com/IGN.
All you need is
hashtag Modern Warfare 3. Yes, you need a fancy name and an awesome question.
Yes.
And you can win the limited edition 360 by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/IGN. So another Twitter question that comes in from what sounds like a hardcore multiplayer user. His name is SMAWELL. He says, will there be custom mapping controls
throw it out
on the consoles, or will we be stuck with pre-made control modes?
You cannot fully customize your mode. We have a lot of pre-made options that you can go to. A lot that we're inspired by feedback from our community. Some special needs players who contacted us, got special things. So we listen a lot to what the community are saying and what they're asking for, and try to bake those into the presets. But we don't do fully customized controls.
I'm just curious. Is it because is there a reason for that? Like not doing fully customized controls? I mean, I don't care. I usually just play default myself.
A lot of people play default. A lot of people do tactical. And then it depends on what you're looking for. But it's, we design the experience based on controls just as much as anything.
So another question comes from a Twitter user, Famous Gamers. And he asks, when will the first community playdates be available for Modern Warfare 3 and Xbox Live? He wants in.
I don't know when the first official ones. Obviously, we'll do a lot like launch week.
I mean, I'm sure you'll be playing like all the time.
I'm playing. Well, I'm playing now, and I will definitely be playing midnight of of launch, and I don't plan on getting off until you have to. Yeah.
All right. Well, Famous Gamers, not for your name, but for your question. When will the first community playdates? Well, we want you to be able to play in that community playdate, so you are getting a copy of Modern Warfare 3 for the platform of your choice. But you need to get a better Twitter name to win the better prizes.
Right. Let's be honest.
Yeah, actually, we're going to get a used copy.
Yeah, you get a used copy. I'm sorry. Here we are watching. Now we're watching Dominate. So,
yep. Dom on.
Classic mode, returning from the other games. Capture and hold the points. As many points as you have ticks up. First to get to the goal win.
So you see now Mike's using a custom reticle, which reticles are another thing you can unlock when you rank up your weapon. So you get attachments, weapon proficiencies, camos, but you can also get customized reticles.
Yeah, I've noticed that when you really load out a custom class, there are like 8 phases that you go through just to make sure that it really is like your specific combination. Someone calling in a care package.
I think right now he's using the Omega reticle.
So I've noticed you can call in a care package, but then with I think it might be the support strike package, you can also call in where it drops like 5 care packages at once.
Yeah.
It can really help out the whole team. Oh, another one of your strike packages that I've noticed that is the new bane of my existence is that you can now call in fake care packages.
Yeah, a decoy care package
that will blow up in your face.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I've been lured in by that. I'm like, oh, awesome, someone left this out for no reason.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's decided not to gather it.
What I love to do is throw the decoy package on like a dom point. So because when they're there capping that dom point, they're already laying there. They cannot resist opening that care package. And when they do, they're going to take out everyone who's trying to cap that point.
Yeah, I just like them just because my immediate need, like the feeling when I see them, is to get greedy and want to just take it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he shot them. Every time I always get greedy and try and knife someone, it almost always never works out for me.
To work out against you?
Yeah, it almost always does. So how do you guys work out the spawning when it's like, do you typically try and spawn people near the capture points that they're holding on to in Domination?
On spawning?
Yeah.
You're looking at 2 things. You want to spawn them whenever possible near teammates, as long as those teammates preferably aren't in danger.
And away from...
And you want to spawn them in safety. So obviously you don't want to spawn them in some place that they're going to get killed or damaged immediately.
Another Twitter question from Hotsy Totsy. This Twitter name's good. His name's Hotsy Totsy Beanie. And his question is...
That's Josh's name.
He said earlier, you guys said, and I think you guys, he means Glenn, you said that the specialist package made you the, in quotes, ultimate weapon. How will this balance the game? And I think you were mainly talking about like...
No, I wasn't.
It's not necessarily better than the other ones. It's not what you were trying to say.
No. What I was saying was, I thought we said something about Warrior, but it was... I think that... so the guys, they want to put a challenge on each other, are going to be playing that. But...
the specialist
it's still
package...
pretty balanced.
Yeah, I feel like, if anything, everything...
It really depends on how you stack everything, right?
It's the one that requires you to actually be the most skilled player, because you're not relying on any AI support. You're not relying on air support that's doing the job for you. You don't have the benefit of team support and making your team better. So you're giving up all that stuff and relying solely on your skill. So it gives you the tools to be the best individual player that you can be.
Or to show off that ability.
So the next Twitter question, man, his Twitter name's hard to read, but it's JXOX. Oh, it's basically Josh with X's in between. I see JXOXSXHX.
We knew it.
He says, why did you decide to put death streaks in Modern Warfare 3?
Death streaks are one of those things that, you know, it's meant to give that player who's getting dominated an upper hand. You know, and obviously hardcore players they don't want to hear any of that. We just want to stomp players all day long and not give them any assistance. But it's one of those things that helps balance out the experience for all players. I mean, everyone will have a stretch of time where they're getting their ass kicked.
Oh, of course.
And it's one of those things that gives you a benefit, especially things like juice, which allow you to move faster at spawn. That's great when you get to a point where, you know, you're getting pinned down and you need that extra help to get out of that point. Because nobody wants to sit there and be pinned down the entire time. And if they're covering down an entire area, juice is something that's essential to any type of player.
Josh, to help you better get across the crying of your pain when you're dying, or maybe celebrate your death streaks, you're getting a Modern Warfare 3 Turtle Beach headset. The last of them,
I don't think he's celebrating that. Wow.
So, you know, I mean, you know, when he's getting beat on, that way people can hear him when he's crying, or maybe hear a celebration.
No, see, I think he wrote because he doesn't want them.
He does not want.
He doesn't like people to have the little chance.
He doesn't want. No, he doesn't like that. So
I am really thankful for them personally. Like for me, in the past, it's always made a huge difference being able to copy someone's loadout, or you know, in the other games, or even like you said, juiced. It is amazing how fast you run early on with juice. And you can get to a choke point, or maybe catch up with that guy that's really just killed you over and over again.
Yeah.
I also really like the. I think it's a kill streak where you can see the location of the last guy that killed
Revenge.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so nice when there's that one guy that just keeps changing where he's camping.
5 times in a row.
Exactly, and you just want to get him. So you were talking earlier about how you changed the rocket launcher a little bit.
The grenade launchers, yeah.
Yeah, grenade launcher, sorry. So what kind of specific sort of changes have you done to make it?
Mostly damage. We've reduced the damage of it a lot. So it's no longer that, you know, great default weapon. It really, unless it's a direct impact, it really relies on that person to be damaged already when you hit them.
So it's really more of a soften them up sort of weapon rather than just a kill them
It's a support tool as it's meant to be. The problem with Modern Warfare 2 is damage was very high on them, and you know, so they were very effective as your primary weapon. People would use them all the time. But now they're not so viable as that replacement to your bullets.
I mean, it should also be noted that on top of unlocking all the crazy stuff for your weapon, you're also unlocking the, I'm spacing what they're called, but the tags above your name.
Yeah, the titles and emblems.
Titles, emblems, call signs. Yep. Like it seems like when you're playing online, after every match, you're pretty much always greeted by some sort of present, basically.
Yeah.
Another Twitter question from Amazing People LM. He said, no, Amazing People. He says, I'm a big team player. I'm all about working for the team. What are ways that Modern Warfare 3 is supporting that? Well, I think we've kind of got into that, right? There's support strike package.
Yeah, you have a support strike package, so you have, you know, a whole list of point streak rewards that are completely focused on being a team player. Ballistic shield, calling up an advanced recon, using a recon drone to get eyes on and tag enemies, hand out ballistic vest, I think I just said that, being a defense tool with a recon juggernaut, a lot of things that help your team be better. But then also we have new tactical equipment where, you know, all the equipment isn't just focused on being lethal. You can do things like portable radar, which I love for things like domination because it allows me to audio cover a bomb site or a domination point by just listening for the pings on the portable radar or looking at the mini-map while I visually cover something else. You also have trophy systems in the tactical stuff, which is great for team play, things like that.
And we even talked about, you know, kill confirmed. Is that a mode that kind of...
that pretty much, that is the team play. That is like, I mean, other ones encourage team play too, but I think both Team Defender and Kill Confirmed are really like team-focused sort of maps. Remember, you can send in your questions at twitter.com/IGN, #MW3. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/IGN, where if you go and visit, like us, do all those things, you can enter for a chance to win a limited edition Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Xbox, which is actually cooler than the Xbox I have at home. I'm unfortunately ineligible to win. You can also follow us on facebook.com/playing Call of Duty to find out all of the latest Call of Duty updates, news, features that IGN's running, and you can also get some of that same information at twitter.com/CallOfDutyIGN. Here we are, more if you're just joining us, playing Modern Warfare 3, watching multiplayer domination on C.
No, this is a C town. This is
Are there other levels like this one? I noticed that there's a downed Black Hawk with a machine. That was a good. That was a good firefight. Yeah. That car got the brunt of it. You know, and this one there's like a downed Black Hawk with a machine gun that you can use. Are there other levels that have sort of, you know, level-specific offensive weapons that you can use, such as, you know, emplacements, that sort of thing?
Right. This might...
I actually think this might be unique. Yeah.
Yeah, this might be unique in that sense. It's something we did a lot back in Call of Duty 2 days. We always had those like certain choke points.
Exactly. There's always a machine gun nest.
Yeah.
So, Twitter user, Sweaty Bananas.
Oh, my favorite type of bananas.
Wow.
Let's be honest.
He says, what is the highest kill streak in the game?
The highest kill streak in the game? Well, it depends on the strike package that you have. I mean, obviously you have things like the highest one in Assault is the Osprey Gunner and the Juggernaut. The highest one in strike or the support strike package is Recon Juggernaut and Escort Airdrop, which will actually cover your care package.
And to get these, I guess he's kind of wondering like how many kills do you have to get in a row? It's like what, 18?
I think 18 or 15 is the max. I think it's 18.
Okay, so you got to get up there. You sound like you play a lot of multiplayer. To help you out, you're getting gaming glasses from Gunner Optics, Modern Warfare 3 branded. It has nothing to do with the fact that your awesome Twitter name is Sweaty Bananas.
Nothing, completely unrelated.
He may win.
So here we are. We just finished up another round of multiplayer. Gonna move on to another one. Of course, you guys still have the final kill cam. One of the most frustrating and awesome things both in Call of Duty. Awesome when it's you. Yes. Frustrating when you have to like see everyone see your shame publicly. Yeah. Mike did well on that one.
He did quite well. Josh.
So
go back to the game summary and show off some of the stats you see. Hit back. Now go over to the. Oh, it's too late. All right.
So another Twitter question from Disc.
Oh, you're in private match.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Another Twitter question from Disgangulated. He says, "What's the field journal that comes with the hardened edition of Modern Warfare 3?"
I can't. It's extremely awesome and painstakingly went over every page of it, but I can't go into details, so there's spoilers.
So more importantly, I think that for the people that buy the hardened edition, something that they should be aware of is maybe you should play the game first, then open it up and read it.
Yeah. Play the game. Like if you have the hardened edition, it comes with that field journal. It also comes with all the other cool stuff. But do not read all the way through the field journal until you've played the full game.
Okay, unless because otherwise you would have some cool things ruined for you.
You will.
So yeah, that's your warning. If you're gonna go out and shell the money out for it.
It's extremely cool though.
Yeah, it really is. It's a nice job.
A lot of work went into that, and it's like one of my favorite things.
I was gonna say, how much input do you guys get on stuff like that? Is that like something you guys get to make, since it is obviously both your studios?
Complete, yeah.
Games?
Yeah. Like we sat down and went through every single page of that journal, down to tone, and I don't want to go into detail, but every inch of it.
And that's the way across the board with with any of our partners or even. Screenshots and concept art. The teams go over to make sure that it has that quality and that we want throughout the game. This is the way that the game is being portrayed.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we have awesome partners that we work with that do the grunt work. Like the guys at Petrol did an amazing job with that journal. But then having the ability to sit down and have such input on it and make sure it's exactly what we're looking for and does justice to what it's supposed to represent is extremely important to us.
Even stuff, and hopefully I can mention this, but with a partners such as Mountain Dew, right? We sat down and we did the tasting of the different things.
You guys got to have some input, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We did the taste testing to decide which flavors would be mixed.
That would have been great to see the video of that, to be like, oh no, this is horrible.
Yeah, we designed the Jeep. Those